Hey there. Welcome to the Gaia Daily for January 25th through 29th, 2021. Wow. So, this energy, this January astrology is off the charts, bringing a feeling of overwhelm, even for a seasoned astrologer to look at all of this stuff. And yet our world is like still in this stagnant, same old guard, lies, deceit, bullshit. And it's like, what is going on here? Now, the deal is that we're coming up on this Leo full moon, right? And that's Thursday. Full moons, we know full moons generally are a culmination of energy. So we kind of got to see what this is about. That we have this triplicity of planets in Aquarius and Taurus, all in square to each other, just like what was happening at the new moon in Capricorn, where we were examining releasing all authority contracts. Isn't it interesting that here in this period in between the new moon and the full moon, of the new moon in Capricorn and the full moon in Leo, of incredible tension. And I think it all really goes back to where we've given our power away. And now we're ready to take it back. In particular, SuperNova Souls, Lightworker Souls, I've been talking about January 2021 being about where you receive back your abundance and your gifts, your spiritual wealth. And right now, though, the Lightworker soul is feeling beaten down. Like, okay, we've done our best. We've showed up. We've done the work. And we lived through the Piscean age. We came in those darkest times. And it's like, if shit's not going to change, then why the hell are we here? Right? I mean, and we know it's changing. We know it's changing. We know that the shift is coming. Nothing can stop it. But I do want to speak to what I feel. My role here is that we're forming a psychic connection, a field of energy. And this is like, if you want to be a part of actively supporting this with your energy, you can do that through joining the Soul Tribe membership on my website. That supports this work and says yes to this energy of this field we're creating, coming together. We know there's so much. It's like, it feels like thick goo, like we're in this glue energy right now. And the reason is because we can't move forward. These structures of the lower matrix aren't supporting us, but we're being pulled in right now. It's like the death grip of the parasitic reptilian control energy. And if you have ever been in a destructive narcissistic relationship, as we all have, because it's kind of part of the path of the supernova soul, you know that when that narcissist is going down and it's been revealed, their mask has been, they've been exposed, they will take the whole ship down. They will take, like, this is what we're dealing with right now. As these energies are like, oh, if I'm going down, because they're starting to lose their grip, they're losing their money, they're losing their control energy, they're losing their access to all of the things that are holding us down. And so they're like, okay, well, we're going to take you all down with us, right? And that's why it feels so intense right now. It's the death grip. But the death grip means it's dying. But once again, supernova souls, light workers, advanced souls, you have to take the brunt of it yet again. And you're getting, so all the spiritual work you've been doing, showing up, facing your demons, and it's just this, I just want to acknowledge the collective energy in our group of frustration and this is exactly what this astrology is about, because the Taurus aspects right now, Uranus, Mars, Black Moon, deep, shadowy, nasty garbage for the supernova soul. It's that program shame, that self-worth, that there's something you have to prove and earn to be the light that you are. And, so there's this place where the supernova soul is getting to that's incredibly empowering, where it's like, this this is not doing right by the precious gift that I have to give. Here you have our group, the incredible healing power, no matter what your gifts and skills are that you might not even realize. And that's kind of this where we need to put our attention right now, even though we can't move forward and we're stuck in the death grip. The reason why we can't go forward ultimately has to do with that these changes are going to fracture society and cause a mental health crisis. So right now we're in the mental health crisis, trying to prevent a mass mental health crisis, right? I mean, Q said if people knew the full truth, 90% of us would have to go to the hospital, which good luck finding any help at the hospital, right? Healthcare, no care. There's no care there. Let's see, what category are you in and what drug can we give you to make you go away, right? So we need care. If we're going to do this, we need care. And now here we have this huge need for care on our planet. And of course, we've been dealing with this. I'll just get through. Someday it'll be better, right? We have this huge need for psychic healing. So let's do it. Let's set up the systems, right? Because we can't get forward without more truth, more disclosure. And so if there's going to be a mental health care crisis, because it's like, here you are, you've got all this healing ability. You've got this sense of self, this presence. You've held on to this light. You've come back again and again to have the spiritual strength for this time, but you're hogtied because the systems can't support and won't allow you. You can't even go out there and speak your truth. You can't even say the word, virus, whatever. It's like we're hogtied right now. And then it just brings up this deep, dark programming in this Black Moon Lilith energy of shame and failure of the light worker soul. Like, well, now you're trapped here because you didn't do enough to fix it. And it's like something stinks really bad right now. And that's where we're coming to be like, it's almost like the energy I'm getting from you guys as I read the group is like, almost like I'd like to be your union representative, and go to your employers to this contractual arrangement and say, it's time for us to address this contract because our living and working conditions are not supporting what we have to offer here. And something's got to give. Because we've been taking the garbage for too long. Because what's happened as you've done your spiritual work, as you've shown up and made it through so much and facing yourself and doing your karmic clearing and doing your trauma healing. And it's like, what that does is make you more sensitive. And so it's almost like we are lambs being sent to slaughter right now. And it's time to say, hey, you know what? Okay, so what's the most precious commodity at this changing, shifting time on this planet? Because now we know we can't get forward until we have massive truth. And this truth has been held back for too long. It's going to break our psyche, right? So it's like the medicine for this problem is us. We have the skills, And so we're the most valuable commodity in this whole reality. And what happens when these light workers stand up and say, you know what? We're not playing anymore. Enough. Because the lies and deception, even if it's trying to do good stuff right now, is doing deep, profound psychic damage. More than truth could. No more lies. All will be revealed. And so it is indeed time for a revolution, spiritual intervention, and maybe we are that spiritual intervention, but it's almost like, so what the union rep wants to say is like, okay, the living and working conditions, like we've got to have an avenue to do our work here because you're wasting our potential. There's so much healing that needs to happen. And there's this huge ability of healers that are hogtied, depressed, being pulled into this lower matrix. And so we've got to address these conditions because now we know who we are. And if we decided we're not playing anymore, where would Earth evolution be? We are the only thing that matters. And it's about time for that segment of society to get some respect. Now, of course, we know that there's all these structures of authority in the way of us being able to play our part, do our role. And when we say we want to reevaluate this contract, we have to go like, wait a minute, Adrian told us there's nothing more powerful than us outside of ourselves. So why do we even have this contract? And who do we have this contract with? The Galactic Federation, who's been manipulating and controlling and using us like a grand experiment, you know? So this is the other part of the contract that I think needs to be reevaluated, even though we know we need to throw it out because there's nothing more powerful than us. It's up to us now to use everything to come into our full flowering, right? But it's like, hey, if we're on some sort of mission, you need to show up in this consciousness and talk to me about it. Otherwise, I'm out, dog. No more manipulation. No more lies. These people, these beings have had access to time travel, and they've been literally breeding us and manipulating our DNA, you know? And it's like, then we have to go with, well, okay, so I want out of that contract. I no longer agree. If some part of me agreed to this level of manipulation, no more, right? But, and the thing is like, okay, so we're dealing with this thing, but why do we even have a contract? Because now we know we're more powerful than anything out there. And that's the deal, right? These beings that are showing up in form are not as evolved as where you came from. And it's time for you to get your marching orders from the master, direct from God, from your God self. You know, so the whole contract has to be thrown out, you know, but it's like we're in this place and it's really all about, because what you can't get to this place of frustration without actually acknowledging that you are the wealth of this world, that this evolution is fucked unless you come into your power. So it's time for the forces to support that or not. What are we doing here? You know, what are we doing here? Because it feels like right now we've been sold down the river, you know, because we're an advanced, sensitive soul and we're playing in the laws and the rules of karma. And we're dealing with people that are using technology undisclosed against us and have time travel. And we're stuck in this framework, right? And it's like, Starseed Rebellion, are you ready for this shit? Because Earth, this is your last chance to receive us. And it's hard because it's like, well, we got to really work harder on waking people up. And it's like, no, you can't even say one truth that there's just a complete false movie reality playing on mainstream media, which the mind-controlled masses are just taking in their sheep feed. And it's been this whole message of like, well, don't bother trying to wake them up because it's lost cause. We got to wait for this shift. And then, you know, and then now it's saying, oh, well, actually, we really got to go. And it's like, and that's maybe where we need to be. Like, how dare you waste this precious gift? And we know now that we are the wealth. We're the only way we get out of this mess. And so we need to be abridged to the plan, or you're not going to use us anymore. Show up and respect us in our spiritual consciousness of what we've gone through and what we've done to be here. This is another energy too. Like, I just want to let you know this, like, you don't have to be here. It's part of the lie. Oh, you got this karma to work out on Earth. And it's like, no, you don't need to. You are fully evolved, already experienced spiritual ascension as a supernova soul before you ever came here. So does that change your game? All of our game, you know? And it's like, so anyway, it all comes to the self-respect that it's time to take back. And this is the Black Moon Lilith energy for the supernova souls, deep, dark program shame. Here you are, came in as a purified soul, an advanced initiate, and bought into the fact that you failed and you have to suffer and you're in prison here until you get it all worked out. And then, the garbage, just taking on the garbage and the garbage collector. And that's where it's like, I've been shown that like the only way we get through our spiritual evolution is truth. Right? And when the truth starts to come out to the masses, you're going to feel better because you're carrying all of this anxiety, all these lies. You're the psychic garbage collector, and that's not doing right by the incredible gifts and skills and the wealth that you have here. Now, when we know it's frustrating, and I just wanted to acknowledge these feelings, just acknowledge it. It's just happening, right? But we also know that this pressure is pushing us into our own blooming, our own wealth. We're being pressurized back into that direct connection to God. There's a great purging and extraction of the toxic, parasitic disease that we've all had to take on just to be here on the planet. And so it is time for us to, the reason why it's so frustrating right now is because we have all this pressure building, massive, massive change, but we're heading into Mercury retrograde. And it's coming at a time when it feels like, oh my God, all this work for nothing. We're not getting anywhere. And how dare you waste our precious resources all this time, keeping us in prison, telling us that, and so, but we are going to move forward. The truth has to come out. There's going to need to be a lot of healing, and the structures, that's where you come in. Like everything, all your gifts and skills, whether it's healing, all these healing modalities, incredible gifts, but even your artistic, your creative pursuits are part of the healing as well. And so it's a really important time, and it's really hard because we're in the death grip, right? So it's hard to even see around the corner. But what you're being asked to do right now is find this inner resilience, go back to your original agreement with God, source, the master energy, your highest self, and grab a hold of your resilience and your power. But also it's time for us to look ahead and be like, okay, what if it is time and there's going to be support finally for actual real healing and the technology that's been kept from us, all the people in trauma and pain, when we don't have to be here, right? But then we need people these structures need to be set up, these healing structures. And what if right around the corner, there's this support and a recognition available for true health and true healing? Almost like let the hospital be the hospital, but then we got to have a whole nother actual health care, not let's manage you and make a whole bunch of money off you while you suffer and we keep you sick. I have this fantasy of Western medicine being rounded up and re-educated, right? Because it's like, are you complicit in voter fraud because you never stood up and said this all was a hoax and masks don't work, they actually make you sicker and yada, yada, yada. And it's like, you're complicit right now. You're complicit in the lies. And this is the deal. The lies don't get revealed, the lies hide in the dark, right? And what's happening on the planet right now, this is where we need to keep our energy. It's like this astrology is intense and it's pressurized, but that's just evidence of the massive change that we're in right now. Massive changes. And so, but it feels stagnant, like nothing's happening because now we're going into Mercury retrograde in Aquarius, right? So it's like Mercury's going, holy crap, how do we do this? How do we turn this corner? How do we go from old, sick, wrong, trauma, abuse, slavery to, hey, let's support and let's take care of each other. Let's make sure people are feeling good and healed. And, so we have all these healers and all these people that need to be healed. And all these healers feeling like they failed, they're not good enough, they're totally rejected. So we've got to start seeing our place in the new paradigm. what are your healing skills? What would be your role in setting up these new structures? Because it's being revealed to you in this intense astrology. So I just wanted to acknowledge the feelings in the collective. Now we're on the hero's journey with the South Node in Sagittarius, the epic journey, right? And there is that place in the epic journey. We've been here a long time. Darkest just before the dawn. And that's what I was saying. The light is what reveals the darkness, the light. And that's how all healers, all teachers, spiritual teachers work. It's like bringing in a spiritual energy that attunes the vibration of the body to the planet, and so it's time for the healing balm to be released, which feels like, to me, Christ consciousness, this light coming in, and Muji recently, I just heard him say, kind of an interesting metaphor, like where, just kind of thinking about where we're at. Like if there's a dark room, like this Black Moon Lilith, hidden, dark, shadowy stuff on the planet, and the shame in the SuperNova Soul that's completely misplaced. But if you open a door on a dark room, how long does it take for that light to come? To light up that room, And this is where we're at. Like, the light is, everything's trying to block it, but it's only getting stronger. And we know this. And we have this inside of us. And we got to just sit tight and be in that light, and be in your wealth, be in your abundance, be in your resilience, and this incredible wealth where you have this empowerment, and that you are that light that's opening the door. And you don't have to wait. The light coming into the dark room, you don't have to wait a week or a month or a year. It just shines right in, And we're all going to feel better. We know this. And that's why it's kind of so difficult to be in this holding pattern of being like, hey, does anybody, are we nothing? Is it okay for us to just sit here after we've refined our field and done our spiritual growth? And now we're being microwaved into an inch of our lives? Like, how long does this go on? Like, that we as sensitive souls are being oppressed to the point where, how do you do your work when you can't even take care of your basic needs, So there's some massive shifting changes happening, and that's what we need to know. Huge culmination of energy coming with this Leo full moon. The Leo full moon is across from the sun, of course, and the sun is right by, just went over Saturn. So this is a lot of the pressure we're feeling this weekend, because we've got Mars in exact square to Jupiter, Mars in exact conjunction with Black Moon Lilith, Sun, Saturn, and square Uranus, and these three triplets just in this intense square. But that sun going over yesterday was the exact of the sun going over Saturn. And this is like a lot of pressure of because Saturn is about limitations, restrictions, but also your true dharma. And this in Aquarius, it's about who are you in the Aquarian age. With the sun is our identity, the role we're playing. And so Saturn says, hey, what's keeping you? What is keeping you from shining your light? This is all we have to do. We have to just turn the frickin' light on. We just have to open the door and hold it open, and easier said than done, right? But I think that, this pressurized feeling is a necessary place we need to get to in order to break through. It has to get that uncomfortable feeling. And the hardness, the difficult thing right now is this Mercury retrograde, because nothing can happen, and it how are we going to even make it through the next day of this psychic abuse, much less 6 more weeks, I don't know. I'm just seeing this breaking free of that cocoon, and recognizing you have wings, and what else? We have no other choices, So that's maybe the part of where we're at. But on top of all of this, we've got the Neptune in exact square to the nodes. And so this is high drama, peak movie, peak delusion, you know, just you can't trust anything in reality. Just don't even try. It's exact until the 27th. So the next couple of days. And then, of course, it's going to take a while to come off of that, you know. But keep in mind, we're in peak movie season, peak drama. It's the place where the hero feels that all is lost. All the work was for nothing. Darkest just before the dawn. And you are that hero. And this South Node Sag is about taking back your heroism and being like, I'm a badass light worker that came to Earth, and you will now, this is what's required if you would like to continue my services, you know, in this paradigm. Better working conditions, and like we're actually support the work you have, to your gifts and skills, and direct communication. And this, no more dreams, mystery messages. Show up and let's talk real about what our role is here, you know, because we've been the butt of the joke for too long. And so this is this huge response. This is this huge energy in our whole world right now. It's like this breakdown of these delusions and lies, and even lies for the good are bad right now. No more. Turn the light on. And that's exactly what this Leo full moon is. Turn the freaking light on. Open up. No more dark corners. Sorry. And that's this moon in Leo across from the sun in Aquarius, right next to Saturn, and coming up on Jupiter. So the sun in the greater conjunction. Who are you in the Aquarian age? Who are you in this new paradigm? And this Leo full moon is saying, you're a bright ass light. And when you're a bright ass light, you feel better. You feel good. I don't know how many, like, and this is the thing right now. It's like, oh, we need to wake people up. And then you go try to say one thing and you're an insane, you know, you're just talking reality. And you're just, and there's just like a complete does not compute, you know? And it's just like, I am done, right? I don't know if you, I just feel this in SuperNova Souls, like trying to explain myself, you know, try to justify that I want a better world. And that this is bullshit. I'm done. To being belittled for being a caring, loving person. Done. It's time for the true redemption. And that means you standing up in the power of your light and saying, I'm not playing anymore. I have no resources for your bullshit. So, this, it's powerful, and maybe we should just do that, right? Like, hey, you guys, we got to go. We got to come together, and in our conscious connection, this Leo, this for this Leo full moon in our vibrational field that we've been working and creating, and being like, hey, we're the wealth of this world. And if you want it, it's like, this is what happens in those abusive relationships, right? Which is pretty much the end of the relationship, when that empath finally says, hey, this is what's required. You will be treating me with respect. You will be allowing me my own thoughts and beliefs. You will be holding me in the highest regard. You will come bearing gifts. And of course, the narcissist is like, no, you're my food source member. You know, and it's like, yeah, no. Mm-mm. So if you're still holding on to that narcissist relationship, it's over. It's over. Just keep yourself safe and make your move. Maybe this is it. It's a SuperNova soul being like, I'm worth way too much for this treatment. I know now. I know that we hold the key piece to keep this whole train moving forward. So when the bus drivers don't show up and they're the only ones qualified to drive the buses, you cannot have your bus system. And what are we going to show up for? And that's this Leo full moon. Leo is about like the exalted expression of the self, of the true self, also your gifts and skills, the spiritual light, your full expression. This is the deepest pain for the supernova soul, is here you are laden with gifts, hogtied, nowhere to use them, and nobody cares. Rejected again and again while there's all these people suffering on the planet. And then you've taken this all on as your problem and your failure. And maybe our failure was buying into the hoax while they continue to manipulate us and feed on us. And, have you read the Hitchhikers of the Galaxy? And this is the deal. It turns out that the mice are breeding the humans in an experiment. And that's what we're dealing with here with these higher level galactic contracts, right? And the fact that they're in form and they're doing this manipulation means that they're not as evolved as where you came from and where you've already been. Game over. Let's open the door. Shed the light on that shit, So there's multiple massive changes happening on multiple levels. And even though it feels absolutely stagnant, it can't stay this way. And we got to use this to sprout our seed and bloom into that full expression. Take all that pain inside of you that hasn't been expressed and start thinking about what it looks like for you in this new paradigm, because we got to roll with it, like what's happening. The reason why you're feeling so frustrated is because we do need that big change. And that big change is going to involve supporting you in doing the best work you can do here. And where's your part in that structure? What does it look like? So there's downloads coming around this because the Sun, Saturn, Jupiter is like, who are you in this greater conjunction of, moving into the Aquarian Age? What's your role here? And isn't that interesting that it goes right along with the deep clearing of the deep, dark shame in the supernova soul and coming into your massive spiritual wealth. So there we are. Okay, well, hang in there. It's a crazy time, and keep breathing and be in the presence of your God light. And I look forward to seeing you. If you can't join the live activation for the full moon, bringing your energy on any level, just your awareness is so awesome. You can also catch the replay. It's available right after the event at the same link. And so, but just this awareness that we're waking up and we're working together now. And so we better, some shit needs to change. It's almost like this frustration. It's like this frustration at being told that you are the change, right? And then everything working against you. And it's like, I'm done. I'm not playing. And that's exactly how we pull back our energy, take back our empowerment, and start using our spiritual wealth in the way that serves us first, right? No more savior sacrifice bullshit, And that's the end. This is this Neptune and Pisces square the nodes. It's the end of the Piscean Age movie. And so we're getting out of those distortions of Christ consciousness and holding this space for that revealing light of truth to pour into this world, and nothing can stop it. So the main thing right now is so much insecurity coming up with this Taurus energy of like, you didn't do it right, you failed, there's something you need to do, there's something required of you, you gotta figure it out, what did you do wrong, and it's like, so just know that that's part of the movie, but it's only showing you your wealth, and claiming and owning your wealth, claiming and owning your permission to be in your power, and remembering that this contract that we'd like to reevaluate around our role here on this planet is an invalid contract. It's like our president right now in the U.S., it's a defunct corporation that's gone bankrupt. So our contract here is null and void. And now we go back to the original plan. That's what the Saturn Jupiter is, God's plan. And the warriors of light are here, and they have their armor of God on, so you better get the F out of the way, So anyway, until intense times. And thank you so much for being here, making it through all you've been through, bringing your support and your energy to our SuperNova Soul Tribe, Starship, Spaceship, miracle healing device. In our electromagnetic field, and like let's just use this Leo full moon to just shine and celebrate and enjoy who we are and what the fruits of our labor of working so hard to be here, conscious and awake on Earth through everything we've been through. Let's just celebrate that light and open the door. So thank you so much, and I look forward to connecting with you soon on that live activation or the next update. Until then, I'm Adrienne Weiss. Namaste.